Rays of Hope supports vulnerable communities in Alexandra Township and has now started its annual Warm Up Alex Drive campaign. The aim is to encourage people to donate pre-loved winter clothing and blankets. Let's get more on the initiative now and speak to Tracey Peppler, who is with Rays of Hope. Tracey, a very good afternoon to you. Grateful for your time. Talk to us about what got you started, because I understand you've been doing this from about 1991.
So Rays of Hope has been going since 1991, absolutely. We started as an outreach to bridge the education gap. That was just the difference between the education being received in Alex versus across the highway. And from there, the programs have just grown. So we've grown from doing a whole lot more than just education programs. And now we do learning and development support, psychosocial support, and family care for the children within our programs. So we aim to provide holistic care to the children of Alex.
And what are the conditions that the children that you work with face daily in Alexandra?
So sadly, the conditions are ones of being vulnerable. So almost all our children we class as vulnerable, which means they're just exposed to situations that children shouldn't have to live through, whether it's just the dangerous conditions, they see violence every day, they're exposed to running water, taps that they share amongst the whole community often, toilets aren't within their houses, they live in many of the houses are below standard, so the wind comes through the cracks, any storm will destroy their houses completely, so they're forced to use very unstable methods to heat themselves in winter and to try and stay warm, which is why we started this Warm Up Alex campaign.
And in the years that you've been present in Alexandra and assisting, as you were saying, on multiple fronts, not just with clothing and blankets, has the situation for the people improved or got worse over the years?
It is hard to say. I definitely wouldn't say it's improved. So what we do is we move people from vulnerability to independence. So we work with them to try and help them understand that hope is not lost just because you're born in Alex. You can become more, you can do more, you can be more than where your situation dictates as you are at the moment. So we start with them young. We work with them young, talk them through a journey, help them cope and deal with all the pressures they face on a daily basis, and along with their families, aim to move them to a better position. Even if they still live in Alex, even if circumstances haven't actually changed, they change as people, which helps them to overcome some of the barriers that they experience every day.
And what do you mean by moving them from vulnerability to independence?
So a lot of times people feel that the circumstances around them dictate who they are. And we believe that if they can overcome those circumstances through love, through caring, through counseling, through assisting them with the education they receive. The education in Alex schools is not of a good standard, so we support their education. We expose them to the world beyond Alex by taking them on outings. We give them mentors if they're older. We expose them to careers as they're starting to leave the end of school. We make sure that the family understands where this child is coming from. So we make sure that the family's in a stable enough position and provide counseling to the parents, because people can only parent the way they would generally parent it. So we help them with parenting skills. We look after a lot of young girls who have fallen pregnant in Alex. So even those girls, the aim is to get them to go back to school so they can complete their education. They can make more of themselves than have another child and have another child. So we focus on getting them back to school, signing a No More Children pledge until they finish school, contraceptives. So we do a lot to try and move people from where they are, where they could be for the rest of their lives, to have bigger dreams, to have a vision. We often do vision workshops with our kids. We give them dream boards, and they look at what can be better than the circumstances where they are born into.
And how many families and vulnerable children do you work with at the moment in Alexandra alone?
So we're only in Alex. We've only ever been in Alex because the community is so big and there's so many people there that can work through our programs. But we've got about 500 children in our program, but 900 people in total because we count the families as well as part of the people that we work with. So it's 500 people from our ECD Centre, which is the Littlies, all the way up to a Trailblazer program, which is a gap year program just after school, or for those kids who haven't made it out of school and dropped out for circumstances or whatever reasons.
Speak to us then about Warm Up Alex, what you're doing this winter, and how we can help.
So Warm Up Alex, it's in its 5th year of running. We started before lockdown even, because we realized that there were so many people that were resulting in having to use paraffin stoves to keep warm, which resulted in fires. The shacks are so flimsy that they'll go up and smoke, and there were a huge number of fires before we started doing this campaign. since we've been doing it, we've definitely seen a reduction in the number of fires that take place in Alex. We can't say it's 100% contributable to the fact that we're providing blankets and warm clothes, but it is definitely one of the things. So we take blankets and clothes, we make up winter bundles for people, and we distribute them to our families and then through some of our partner organizations to the people that they work with. So people can help by donating. We've got a collection box at the Raise of Hope office in Marlborough Gardens in Sandton. There's one in Sandton City. Or if it's easier, they can make a 400 Rand donation. Our bank details are on the website, which will enable us to put a hamper together for them.
Good to speak to you, Tracey Peppler from Raise of Hope. Thank you so much for your time.